Hi there. In this screencast, I'm going to show you how to make a scrolling continuous background for a side-scrolling game. So the first thing I need to do is find one image that's going to be the base of my background. So I found one here on Google Images, and I'm going to um, download the image into the images folder of my project. So mine is going to be, let's see, right there. And I'm going to call it Sky. Okay, and now I'm going to also make a mirror image of it. So what I want to do is open it in paint.net. So if you double click on the name of the file, I think your computer has paint.net installed. So I'm going to open that, and then I'm going to make a horizontal or a mirrored version of it. So to do that, I do image flip horizontal, and now I'm going to save that with a different name that has a 2 moniker or A2 at the end of the name. So now I have sky.jpg and sky2.jpg. Alright, so now I'm going to go into Greenfoot, and I'm going to make one subclass for actor, and I'm going to call it background. I'll just call it background. Actually, let's call it background image. Nah, you know what? Let's call it background. Okay, so now in my world class, I'm going to open up my world. All right, and I'm going to make a few variables, and one of them is going to be an image. Two of them are going to be image files, and the other are going to be background of type background. So I'm going to do Greenfoot image, and I'll say BCK1 and then BCK2, and actually let me put IMG and then IMG2. And now I'm also going to say, let's see, what did I call them? Oh, the type of actor subclass I made, which is called background. And then I'm going to say BCK1 and BCK2. All right, now in the constructor, I need to scale, I need to assign my image, the actual image that's in my images folder, which is sky.jpg and sky2.jpg. I need to associate the image and with the Greenfoot image variables that I'm declared and I'm going to create now. So I'm going to say BCK IMG1 equals new Greenfoot image, and then it would be sky.jpg, and then BCK IMG2 equals new Greenfoot image, and then that would be sky2.jpg. Okay, now I'm going to scale those images so that they take up the entire screen. So I'm going to say BCK image dot scale. Okay, and now if I go and look at how scale works in the Greenfoot image class, so I'm going to go out to Greenfoot class documentation. I'm going to go to Greenfoot image, and there's a method that's called scale. So it's right there, and I say I need two values, the width and the height that I want to scale the image to. So in my case, I want to scale it to the width and the height of the screen. Now you already set the width and the height of the game screen to be the width and the height of the monitor. So all I need to do is put get width and get height. Okay, and then I need to do the same thing for image 2. All right. So now I'm ready to create my actual instances of background. So background is, for this scrolling background, instead of setting the background image of the world or my world, we actually have two actors that are added to the game, and those are actors that are going to be the backgrounds of your scrolling background. Now, when you add other objects, you need to make sure that the background objects are are layered so that everything else is on top of them. Otherwise, you won't see what you're trying. Maybe any other actor that you add to the world. So we'll get into more of that later, but for now we don't have any other actors, so we don't have to worry about it. So I'm going to say bck1 equals new, and then background, and then I need to okay, just new background. And then I'm going to set the image of that first guy to be BCKIMG1. So the first image gets assigned to that background variable. Now I haven't added it to the world yet. We'll do that in just a second. So I need to say the same thing for the other background. And his image is the mirrored image. So that was BCKIMG2. Okay, so now I have two instances, two actor of the background subclass. They're both the same size as the screen. So essentially these are two sprites that are as big as the screen. And I'm going to position the first one so it takes up the entire screen. So I'm going to add the first one to the world. Now the coordinates of where I need to add him to the world are, well, the coordinates, first of all, the coordinates of any instance of any actor subclass are always the very middle of the object. So that means I want to add my background BCK1 to the very middle of the screen. So that means I'm going to say add object BCK1, and I'm going to say get width divided by 2 and get height divided by 2. Okay, so now when I look at where I am with my game, sure enough, I have an image which is not actually the background of the my world object, but it's actually an actor. That's the only thing that's on the screen, has been added to the world. Okay, and now I'm going to add a second one, the mirrored one, and I want the mirrored one, the beginning of the second image, to correspond to be just off the screen, so that they pretty much are in consecutive order, with the mirrored one being nose to nose with the end of the first image. So that means if the mirrored one is, or if the normal one is centered at right here, then the other one has to be a whole other get width off the screen. So I'm going to go in and let's see. If I want to go in to my world, and I'm going to go down and say, okay, BCK2 dot or I'm sorry, add object bck2, and I'm going to say get width divided by 2 plus get width. All right, and then he is going to have the same height as the first one. Okay, now when I go in and look at the state of my game, there's actually a whole other image just off the screen. Now you can't see it because it's off the screen obviously, but it is there. So now what goes on in the actual background class? Well, in the act method for the background class, I want to, every time the act method executes, I'm going to move the image to the left. So that's essentially moving the sprite to the left. Now I'm not going to use the format of move because it gets a little bit hairy as far as what the heading of the sprite is and what direction you're moving the guy. So I'm just going to reposition the sprite instead. So I'm going to say set location, and then where am I setting him to be? Well, it's going to be where he is now, -1, and his y coordinate is not going to change. Okay, so that moves him 1 pixel to the left. And now I need to add an if statement that checks to see if he's gone completely off the screen. So he's gone completely off the screen when his coordinate is 1/2 the width of the screen. So I'm going to say if get location, actually I'm sorry, if get x is equal to, and then it's going to be, let's see, minus, and then, oh, and you know what? I want to do this. I forgot. I want to say world, my world, world equals my world, get world. All right, and then I'm going to say if get x equals minus world dot get width divided by 2, then I need to reposition him on the right off the screen on the right. So as soon as he goes off the screen completely on the left, you reposition him right on off the screen on the right. So I say set location, and it's going to be world dot get width divided by 2 and world dot get height divided by 2. All right, and hopefully this will work. So let's give it a shot. I think that's all I need to get this going. So I'm going to click run. And it's not working. So let's see if I can figure out what I did wrong. Open editor. So I got it to work the first time. I did it off the screen, of course. All right. I found my problem. So back in my world, it should have been this. All right, and now let's try it. All right, so it looks like it's going pretty good. So you can kind of see where the dividing line is right here. So that's where the one image blends into the second one. On the other side, it's going to be a little more obvious. In general, if you pick backgrounds that don't have any slant to them and are pretty much horizontal, it's the least noticeable. Like right here, this thing's kind of going up, so the mirror image of it is going to go straight down. Still not too bad, but if I cut off this end of it, of the image, if I cropped it and got rid of this portion, then it would probably look more realistic. All right, and there you go. That's it.